Sitting off the east coast of Brisbane is Moreton Bay, offering excellent fishing from your common catches right up to hardcore sports fishing. We're hanging around the southern end of Bribie today with spotted mackerel on the agenda. They're fast, agile and a challenge to catch. Joining me is good friend of the show, Gordon Triplett from Garmin, and his mate Gary Bazina. And seeing as every boat needs a skipper, Mickey Bryant's the man at the helm.
I had this boat now about 2 years. I moved back up from Melbourne to Bribie and bought a boat and just got hooked on the marlin fishing.
It was about 6 years ago when Mick caught his first marlin on Creek to Coast.
He said, 800, you've got a cracker!
That day we caught that big fish. There was 3 deckhands. There was everyone shouting orders at me, barking at me, do this, do that. So I realised you couldn't catch them on your own.
That was until Mick discovered Garmin. It's thanks to the gear like the sounder, plotter, autopilot and the autopilot remote that help fulfil his dream. Paint the picture for me. You're on your own, you're travelling forward, you're hooked into a 300-pound blue marlin,
Yep.
and this is your saviour.
Yep. So first thing I do is run up the front of the boat, just go a bit faster, doing about 7 knots, increase that to about 10. So keep the line tight at the back of the boat. I get the other line in, I only have 2 out at a time. Back off to about 2 knots, just in idling, and then I start fighting fish at the back of the boat.
Are you mad, boy?
Well, I take a few precautions. So I have a safety vest with a personal EPIRB, and I went and made myself a bit of a rope, and I attached that to one end to the back of my belt, and the other end around that kitchen table there. I've been trolling for about 6 hours, and got him right on the tide change. And to date, I've caught 3 of them on my own.
Could you ever think there'd be a day you solo marlin fishing?
Yeah, no, it's been like a dream.
And the beauty is, Mickey, no fisherman can tell a few porcupines, but you have proof, haven't you?
Well, I figured if I was to catch a marlin on my own, no one would believe me. So I invested in some Verb action cameras, and they catch all the footage, and then when I get back home, the family can see it for themselves.
A lot of the techniques anglers use to track down marlin are the same as when you're chasing mackerel like we are today. We're keeping an eye on the birds because where there's birds, there's bait, and where there's bait, there's fish. Good, Mick?
Yeah, a lot of bait, and there's something on it because it's heading up that direction, which is a good sign that there's fish on that bait.
This is like fisherman's heaven. You can see all the bait busting up behind us. Just on the surface there were birds working. We're trying to match the hatch. That's another little tip. They're feeding on tiny bait fish, so we're throwing fairly tiny slugs, but have a look at them right here, everywhere. It's only a matter of minutes until we've got a bite. What have you done here, young Gary? We put him in the back corner of the boat, said be quiet, just use your jig over here, and he's got a knife. There's a little mackerel. It's exactly what we're chasing. But just have a look at the razor sharp teeth on them. So there's an argument, do you use mono leader or Y leader? So we're all using mono because you get plenty more bites. You may lose a few if you get snipped off, but definitely go monofilament over the wire. But there he is, we'll get him back in. And it looks like young Gary's on a roll. Another little fella, little spotty, I think. Oh, and that's what you do. What he was saying there to me, because I like to talk to nature, he was saying, Scotty, I've had enough. That was a little Scotty Hilly release. Gary's getting all the bites, so we thought we'd try another spot. The sounder's showing some bait, so hopefully Gordy and I have a bit of luck.
Oh, fish on.
So what happened then, Gordy? Just belted it?
Yeah.
This little one is evident that there are more mackerel to be had. Now, if there's one, there's got to be a...
Double hook up.
Double hook up. There we go, Gazza. Little spotty mackerel. Oh, look at him in around the boat. Get down there, Gordy. Gary's got one, I got one. Yeah, we got 3 on. Oh, we got a triple hook up. How good's this? Moreton Bay certainly delivered today. If you'd like to find out more about any of the Garmin gear we've used today, head to their website. Now it's time to see what the guys have been hauling in this week. If this is you, congratulations. You are our first creek catch of the month. Make sure you keep an eye on your letterbox because we're sending you a BCF lure. Could you be our next winner? How good was that fish? Now, if you'd like your prize catch to appear on the show, it's simple. Follow us on Instagram and make sure you hashtag #CreekCatch. Unfortunately, that is the show for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know this bloke here and this bloke here have had an absolute blast on the light gear on the spotties. Special thanks to our skipper, Mick. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. Bye for now. Come on, boys. Keep fishing.